I know I've been posting a lot about the deporting situation, and you know, my mom, like yesterday, she told me, hey son, you should probably not speak too much on this topic because it might cause a problem for us. That's the exact reason why this is a problem. Whenever there's a problem, Asian people go, oh my God, and nothing changes.
These are not reporting these incidences. We don't want to cause more trouble, more attention to our community.
That's probably the biggest thing that pisses me off about Asian people. You realize the current situation is literally a crime against humanity. Look, I think 70 to 80, 90% of us can agree that if they take illegal immigrants that commit crimes or whatever, look, that's whatever, okay? But they're stripping people of citizenships, and they're also taking people that are citizens. So what the hell does that mean for me? I was born here as a citizen. I can't imagine my mom or my sister, or think about it, like you're a close family member, imagine they just get taken for whatever good reason. And at this rate, they're not even finding a good reason. You know what they're doing? Oh, he's brown, let me take him. Oh, he's yellow, let me take him. That's literally what's going on. So that's why we're in this crisis of literal, ethnic cleansing, if you want to think about it that way. And I'm not exempt because I'm Korean. And then all the Asian influencers watching right now, stop posting about your, here's my favorite boba. Or like, oh, here's my get ready with me. No one cares. And at least talk about the topic first to show that you're a human. And then you can start posting about your freaking stupid get ready with me. Oh, here's my favorite boba. Nobody cares about that right now. So at least address the issue, and then you can stroll on with your life. You'll probably gain a lot more followers that way. And who am I to say this when I only have 2,000 followers? Yeah, I know you're probably thinking that, but guess what? There's a lot of things that happens behind the scenes, and I've seen tremendous growth. Thank you guys so much for hearing me out and sharing my content. I appreciate you guys. It's time to go to the gimnasio. Let's go.
Come with me to self-deport my mom after being in this country for 36 years. My stepdad is staying behind and he'll join her in a couple of months. They've been together for 25 years. We're driving from LA down to TJ to drop her off at the airport, and she'll be flying to Mexico City. After driving an hour and 30 minutes, my sister realized she forgot her passports at home. This was her heartbroken that she wasn't going to be able to drop off my mom all the way in Mexico. So she drove back home to meet my stepdad halfway, hoping that she will make it back on time before my mom's flight. The good thing is that we gave each other more than enough time to have brunch in TJ while we waited for her. We got to the airport with 3 hours to spare. We checked in her bags and we just waited in the lounge. This is the good thing about Mexican parents trying to check in so early, because now we have all this time to spare. Look at Miss Diva getting ready. And my sister made it with 45 minutes to spare. You made it! My mom is leaving behind 3 grown-ass kids and 3 grandchildren. We are doing this all while some of the biggest ICE raids are going on back home. With my mom's complicated legal status, she decided to do this in her own terms. She has no criminal record, a hardworking taxpayer who has been working 12-hour shifts since she was 15, 6 days out of the week. She never asked for a handout. She didn't get food stamps. She didn't get welfare. She didn't even ask for child support when my dad wasn't in the picture. She asked me to not cry, to let her go in peace, to take care of myself and not just trust all these new people I'm meeting. And I told her I'm protected, to not worry about me, and that I'm gonna go see her very soon. As the eldest sister, I stayed strong. I wanted to make sure that she knew that everything was gonna be okay. But this was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. The little one, on the other hand, she was struggling. Even though we're all sad to see her go, my mom hasn't seen her mom in 22 years. She's 51 and she's going back home to Guerrero, Mexico to retire. After so many years of being here, she forgot that that was the original plan. I hate that all of this had to happen for her to make this decision, but I have a good feeling that this is going to be good for her. This was her finally meeting with my grandma after driving 5 hours from Mexico City to her town. Mamita! If you have your parents close to you, don't forget to hug them today. And for everybody that voted for this, fuck you.
In the 90s, we lived near the KK blank members. This man was the Grand Dragon. He ran this very racist organization. So we lived in a trailer park. There was a lot of different races. My friend, I was in kindergarten, was a little black girl named Sunshine. My brother played with lots of kids, but he played with this little boy. His name was Steven. His father's name was Joe Hubbard, and he ran this organization. But it's weird how they lived in this trailer park, even though they didn't like other races. One day we're on the bus. I'm sitting with Sunshine. My brother's sitting with Steven, and he called my friend a racial slur. And my brother said, "Don't call her that," and that was the end. We got off the bus, went about the afternoon. That afternoon, me and my brother were playing at my friend's house. His name was Junior, and my mother walked up there to get us for dinner. They pulled up as soon as my mother walked up there. Like, they were directly in front of the house, so all the kids saw all of this. Their kid Steven was in the back seat. Joe Hubbard was driving this car. It was one of those Buicks that was like a nice car back in the day. And then his wife Vicky was in the passenger seat. The dad got out. He had a boom on his waist. The mother got out with a table leg with a chain connected to it, and they beat my mother. Now, my mama was a rowdy girly, but she didn't fight back because there was a no-win situation for her there. I mean, she was outnumbered, and they had a literal, weapon. So anyways, my mother went to the hospital. She was black and blue from her neck all the way to her waist. I mean, black. She was beat so bad. She had a cracked rib. We moved out of fear. My family did not press charges. My family also was selling, substances, so they didn't want to get any kind of cops involved, but we moved out of fear. So we never had problems with them again. When I was 19 years old, my mom asked me for a ride to go buy her substance, and I gave her a ride. We went up into government housing. She went into her friend's house, and as she went in there, I noticed there was a man in a wheelchair. It was one of those motorized wheelchairs, and he had like this brace on the side of his neck, kind of like to hold it there. Nothing in the front though. And my mom came back, got in the car, and she said, "I be dang," but the other word. She said, "Do you remember Joe Hubbard from the KK blank?" I said, "Yeah, because that was traumatizing as a child." She said, "That's him in the wheelchair right there, and he's paralyzed from the neck down." And I was like, "Why?" She was like, "I don't know." But this is what I'm saying. When you're evil and you do wrong, things happen. And I'm not saying the Lord harmed him, because he didn't, but something happened to him where he ended up being put in a situation where he could not move his body to harm other people, but he had to live there in front of a lot of other races and see those people. I pray that that man was able to repent and get his life together and, have a change of his heart. And, I know he's no longer alive today because that was a long time ago, but I pray that he made it to be with the Lord. Y'all have a blessed day.
There are a lot of white people in this comment section that are finding it really easy to say that the N-word is just a word and that we should just, let it go, or I should just teach my kids to let it roll off their back. No, couldn't be me. Not one time, not ever. And you want to know why? Because as a white woman, I'm intelligent enough to understand that the N-word was never created with me in mind, okay? I was never its intended target. It was never created to dehumanize me, enslave me, sell me, purchase me, sexually assault me, unalive me, watch me fight another human being until only one of us is left alive for entertainment purposes. It was not created to take my children and sell them, and worse, okay? I'm not trying to take a seat at a table that I don't belong at because I do not understand. All right. And it takes a very specific level of privilege to pretend that I have any right to tell somebody that is the intended target of that word, that how they should feel. Okay, and how they should act and how they should handle it. Because in 2025, I have a 10-year-old son that is going to school and has a white classmate that's coloring on his arm with a brown marker and saying, "Look, I'm the N-word, I'm a slave." Okay, it doesn't mean nothing. And it's really easy to pretend that it's just a word and that you should just let it go when you will never have to experience it. Okay, because it was never about you. It's not currently about you. It will never be about you. And that's the funny thing that we do as white people, is we keep trying to put ourselves at tables that we don't belong at. We keep trying to tell people how they should handle their lived experiences that we will never live. Can you imagine, as a white mother, for me to look at my children and tell them that they should just allow something to roll off of their back that they only will experience and I will never? Not a chance. And I am 100% not going to say, well, because racism will never go away, we should just let it go. No. Racism's wrong. It will always be wrong. The use of the N-word will always be wrong. And it is not the job of Black and brown individuals to just bow down and take it.
Now, some people, may say that, oh, how can you be so insensitive and da-da-da-da. I'm not. I'm pointing out one clear fact. The first family that you were able to see directly in the video, they self-deported. The family, they were like, all right, well, this is the last hurrah. We'll figure out something later. But we do have a home to go right back to. And we're going to self-deport so that we don't have to deal with ICE, so that we don't have to be in the public eye or have to, go through all of these things being transported here, here, and here. They were like, I'm going to take my destiny into my own hands, and this is what I'm going to do. And they did it. She literally made a video talking about how her family self-deported, and I'm trying to figure out, why is it so difficult for other people? They know that they're not supposed to be here. They know that they were here illegally, and they were like, you know what? We are clearly in the wrong. We don't want to put up a big fuss or as if we should be able to be here, even though we know we're not supposed to. We're just going to do what it is that we need to do. And they did that. How difficult is it for other people to do that? That's what I'm just trying to figure out. That's all I'm trying to figure out at the end of the day. And these were older folks, right? These were older folks who are doing this. And they went back, right? The wife went back first. And then she stated that her father is going to, follow behind the mother, a few months after. I guess he has to get some stuff in order and whatnot or whatever. And then he'll, be down there with his wife. Like I said before, they made it very short, sweet, and simple. Said their goodbyes, gave their hugs, everything. So again, I'm just simply asking, as a person that's looking from the outside, why is this so difficult for the greater majority who literally cheated their way in order to be here, who cut in front of the line, right? These are the same people who say that they care so much about their community, their people, and all of these things. But you are literally cutting in front of the line of other people who took their years or whatever it was to become a citizen of the United States by way of the United States government giving them that title. You just simply was like, yeah, I'm not waiting for that. Let me cut a line real quick. Yo, cuz, move over. Bam. And they just in here. That's crazy to me. You, like I said before, this is why I don't really have a certain type of sympathy or empathy, because there are so many people that decided to cut in front of their own people in order to get benefits which they felt that they were more deserving of having, versus the people who took the initiative, who took the time, who got the education, who waited the amount of years, who did everything possible that they needed to do. They crossed their T's, they dotted their I's, and they waited their turn, just like a lot of other people. Like I said, that's my main problem with the whole situation. I hear a whole bunch of people talking about they care about their community, they care about their people, but you're not caring about the people who are doing it the right way. You're not. And you never did. Because realistically, you are for self. Now, because you're over here, of course, you're going to click up and everything like that. But other than that, you don't really care about the other people who look just like you who are here, because you're here to just do for self. And that's it. It just so happens that because of how everything is running here, that we're going to sit up there and put some little things to the side, and we're going to try to have a somewhat of a business symbiotic type of deal, type of relationship. Like I said, it's crazy to me. So like I said, whenever I happen to see videos online of people saying that they care about their people, I know it's lies. 100%, I know it's lies. So the last video, right now, I just wanted to focus on these two videos. The other videos are what they are, right? The Asian man. And this is something that I've talked about before, and I've said over and over again, how it is that a lot of these people who are immigrants and everybody else wants to all take, like, literally the whole world, every ethnicity is like, yo, black people, this, that, and the third. You guys are wrong for the way that you're going about it. You need to sit up there and help us. Y'all need to speak out. They're coming for you next, right? Why are none of these people saying this to the Asian people? I want to say shout out to this Asian man. I know some people in the comment section are going to be telling me like, oh, don't be sitting up there giving them credit. Man, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Like I said, I give credit to the people who are honest and open. They're putting their faces directly out there and they're speaking. They're calling their own people out, because like I said, for far too long, I've been calling on Asian people for the longest time possible for how it is that they want to sit up there and move. And especially during a pandemic when white people were the main ones saying that they were the cause of it. And then as soon as it shifted directly to black people and they were trying to portray black people as the carriers, the harbingers of the pandemic and spreading it to everybody else and yada, yada, yada. You know what Asians did? They sat there quietly and minded their business. Once they got off of that bandwagon of like stop the Asian hate and all this other type of stuff and da 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 and xenophobia, once they started giving that whole type of rhetoric to black people, Asians didn't say nothing. They didn't try to defend black people. They didn't try to spin the narrative. They didn't try to swap it around, switch it. They didn't try to do none of that. And I made sure to sit up there and stay directly on their necks that whole duration, because we ain't doing that, especially on mainstream media. We ain't doing that. You are not about to sit up there and try to say that black people are the causation of something that we know other people that got money were the ones who are able to travel to Europe, to South America, over there to Asia, over there to Germany, over there to Italy. We know that those people ain't black. Let's just be real. I don't care how people may try to think that sounds, but I'm just being realistic. Black people are not going around just frequently every single year, every several months or 2 to 3 months. We're going to Italy, we're going to Germany, we're going to Australia, we're going to the UK, we're going to Asia, we're going to China. Like we're not doing that. We're not doing that. There's only one group out here that's doing that, and those are the main ones that were spreading the pandemic around to the United States, right? So then after that, we have this whole thing where now we got to deal with the deportation. We got to deal with ICE. We got to deal with all of these other types of, things going on out here, right? And lo and behold, you don't see nobody Asian speaking. Asians, oddly enough, are just sitting just back, standing down. Do you think that the Jamaicans are saying anything? No. You think the Caribbeans are saying anything? No. Do you think any of the European immigrants are saying anything? No. Do you think the Africans are saying anything? No. Do you think any of the Hispanics or Latins, Cubans, are saying any, Dominicans saying anything? No, they're not. Color me surprised. Color me. It's almost as if Asians don't even exist in America. It's almost as if they're not a demographic, but I know that they are. They know that they are. But, like I said, nobody wants to, look directly at the Asians and tell them to speak up, to tell them that they need to start using their voice, that they need to start protesting and marching. So again, this is why I'm sitting up and saying shout out to this Asian dude for doing this. Because people can say whatever they want to sit up there and say to me when it deals with me trying to call out a lot of these other demographics and all this other type of stuff. But when it deals with somebody who is of literally that community saying that about his own people, now y'all got to shut up. Now you can't say nothing. You're not going to be able to use this, that, and the third when it deals with an Asian man calling out his own people, because he is of his people. He knows his people realistically better than anybody else, right? Because he is from them, they are from him, right? So, and then on top of that, he knows how they are taught directly in their communities and their households. We only know certain perspectives, right? We only know a little bit by what it is that they allow to get to the outside world. We literally have an insider telling us that, yo, this is what they sitting up here doing. They like to, stand down. They like to sit up there and stay quiet. They're not trying to do this and they're not trying to do that. And you know that you're wrong for doing this. And they are. They are. Because I want to note that the Asian community is the same community. Now follow me here. The Asian community is the same ones that sat idly by and that allowed mainstream media and everybody else to believe that black people in America were the main ones passing the pandemic around. And then they were the exact same group later on when it was the whole thing of stop the Asian hate. They were the exact same group that decided to side with mainstream media again and allow them to portray black people as the perpetrators, as the poster children of stop the Asian hate. of the ones that are just criminally just going around. We're just in every single Chinatown. We're in every single Asian market. We're in every single Asian, city or area. And we're just out there destroying. We're just wrecking. We're just burning down. All of this. This is how they really try to portray Black Americans. And again, when that took place, I had to sit idly by. I'm like, okay, I got you. Hold my beer. Let me bring up the fact that the United States of America, which is Caucasian, literally had y'all in encampments, right? Both Asian and both Chinese and Japanese. They had y'all in camps. Did y'all forget about that? Because Black Americans, we didn't do that. Like we know what it's like to be, entrapped. We got to deal with certain, stipulations, walls, and all of that, right? Black Americans would never do that to somebody else because we understand what it's like. But irregardless of history, it seems as though that people don't want to pay attention to that knowledge. People don't want to look at who has really caused them the utmost pain, who has caused them the utmost fear, who has taken the utmost directly from them, their culture, their people, their family, and also, even somewhat from their lands. But somehow, some way, instead of focusing and putting their attention on those groups, they're like, oh, we got to focus on the blacks. And this is why I sit up there and say that a lot of these groups that come directly over here, that are immigrants, migrants, whatever you want to call them, they look to and feel as though that they are honorary white, or as the Asians, that they are model minorities. Like I said, a lot of people who are immigrants, they are placed here in order to be a wedge, in order to be a wrench to throw directly in, this piece of machinery in order to stop certain things from working and progressing. That's it. And a lot of people will sit idly by and play their roles, such as the Asians. Other people will act oblivious as if these things don't exist and that Black Americans are just hating them for no reason, aka the Africans, people who are in the Caribbeans, the islands, or whatnot, or whatever, the Latins, Mexicans, all these other types of groups. See how that works? You got two groups that are literally placed here in order to displace, in order to disrupt, in order to throw a wrench directly in order to stop certain things from moving, so that they can install some brand new machinery above the quote unquote non-working one, and then allow that to basically do what it is that it's supposed to do. Right? So since the old pieces aren't working, we're going to put something on top of the old pieces, leave the old pieces there. We're going to put something on top of those old pieces and allow the new pieces to do the work for us. That's how that works. So like I said, a lot of people not going to pay attention. A lot of people not going to sit up there and listen. But as I stated before, because of that, everything is meant to fall. And when it does, then at that moment in time, people will hopefully, take an ear and actually listen and pay attention. Even if that does happen, I still know that it's going to slowly but surely return right back to business as usual when the moment in time shows itself. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that's in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.